Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Tequila Talks. Your friend Tequila Bay. We're back at it again with Tequila Talks. We've been kind of on a hiatus doing different types of content. We have the cocktail series, we had the tacos and tequila. We're gonna be working on some more stuff there. Tonight we're gonna be drinking some Don Fulano. Recently, I've seen Don Fulano on the internet, other creators. I've read about it, I saw, but finally got my hands on some Don Fulano, and I'm excited to drink it with you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. To talk about a brand like Don Fulano, it just opens up a whole other Pandora's box, like a whole other array. It opens up a Pandora's box and a whole other array of just layers of what makes tequila so unique and special. So to give you some information about Don Fulano, it is a tequila made by the Fonseca family, Enrique and Sergio Fonseca, 4th and 5th generation. The Fonseca family are the largest harvesters and farmers of agave in the Jalisco region, and they have this passion and attention to the process of the harvest, the farming and the cultivation of the agave. Immigrants of Portugal, they came to the Tequila Jalisco region and they started to produce and farm agaves for some of the most renowned distilleries. Their craft in agave farming led them to then start their own distillery, La Tequileña, after an agave shortage in the 80s that was pushing them to undervalue their product, and they saw that as an opportunity to open up their own distillery and create their own process of tequila here with Don Fulano. The process of Don Fulano is one of the few distilleries that has 100% of their estate and homegrown agaves used in their tequila. And as I learned a little bit more about Don Fulano, I just became one of the most fanatic and in love people about this brand of tequila. So let's go ahead and, like always, we're gonna go ahead and start drinking the Blanco. I wanna get right into it so that I can start describing all of the nuances and all of the things that makes Don Fulano an amazing tequila coming out of 1146, La Tequileña, and all the unique components of what this tequila brand is doing, what Enrique and Sergio created with Don Fulano, and how that's gonna impact the future of tequila distilling and tequila making. Woo. So, as I have become more and more passionate and an avid drinker of agave distillates and tequila, I've also tried to broaden my horizon of drinking. I've thoroughly enjoy wine drinking and the nuances and the techniques and the level of detail that comes along with wine drinking. And this is what really excites me about Don Fulano. So when you think about tequila, you think about a product, and throughout the conversations that we've been having, the products that are abocantes, that have abocantes, that are not additive free, that want to create a consistency of product for the consumer, that are bridging these gaps to bring on different consumers of tequila. But what makes Don Fulano so special is that Enrique Fonseca, at some point when he realized that he needed to separate himself to learn about the actual distillation process rather than the farming process of agave and tequila, he brought over a lot of information and techniques and practices from European Scotch distillation. He brought over experience and knowledge from French winemaking, and now they're producing an incredible product of tequila that's fairly inexpensive and that's just adding different layers and components to the tequila making process. So like always, we want to start out with the Blanco tequila. Very herbaceous, grassy, pepper forward, those caramels and vanillas that you want to notice in a good Blanco tequila. Don Fulano hits it right on the head. So when it comes to the agave, again, these are agave farming experts. They use maduros and pinto agave. So these are agaves that are fully mature. Now, the importance of the full maturation of the agave is the sugar component. So those monosaccharides, those disaccharide sugars, those simple sugars that get broken down by the fructans, the Don Fulano and the Fonseca family have perfected this maturation process to get the best sugars for the fermentation and then distillation of their tequila. Their knowledge in farming has elevated the product that they're putting out. So their distillery, La Tequileña, is in El Valle in Tequila, and their agaves are coming from the Altos of Jalisco, which tend to have characteristics of very fruit-forward, citrus-forward components, but their blending of tequila, and we'll touch base here a little bit about their blending of tequila gives this complexity, which is coming from the Tahona process, from the Bagaza process, and also from some of their distillation processes. Very agave forward, very complex, peppery, kind of rough around the edges, but for a traditionalist and purist tequila drinker, this is exactly what you want to be tasting. So talking about these winemaking techniques and what makes Don Fulano special. On the bottle, they have their lot numbers, their bottle numbers, and this is all an indication of the importance of the terroir and the importance of the factors that influence each and every production of their tequila. When we think about their process, about 80 to 85% of their tequila is produced through the alembic process of distillation, and another 15 to 20% is produced through the coffee still, which is a column still. So they're taking two different types of batches of distillation tequila. They're also introducing both Bagaza and non-Bagaza mosto. So this marriage and this blending is a technique that's not readily used by industry standards, and that's being kind of pioneered by the Fonseca family and Don Fulano. This blending and marriage of tequila is very prevalent in the winemaking world, and that's what really excites me about Don Fulano. I was talking with Alex, like, man, this brand I think is really moving up the charts. The more that I drink it, the more that I research, the more that I talk about it, Don Fulano is just checking off all those boxes. And that wine parallel and that attention to the terroir, the attention to the season, to the weather, to the rain, all these factors that influence the lot number, that influence the batch number, is what's creating variance and an organic and in a product that is, it's a farming product. So something that Don Fulano is really proud of is that their product is a byproduct of their farming process, which is an organic, natural process that has variance. So like wine, we're gonna start noticing and seeing all these different years and the lot numbers and what is your, what are the differences and what makes this lot number and this bottle number and the batch number is different. And we're gonna start seeing, as tequila fans, Fortaleza has already been doing a lot of those batching and lot numbers. So as tequila fans, we're gonna start picking our favorite lots, our favorite batches. Now we're gonna go ahead and drink some of the añejo expression, something new. So typically I just stick to the blanco, but today I wanted to go ahead and dive into the añejo, because I also wanted to talk about their barrel. They use French Limousin, they use French oak that has a different characteristic that doesn't overpower that agave forward component. They definitely want to be able to focus on the agave and the complexity of the agave, but the refining of their product with this French oak, French Limousin aging. Once they age and once they blend and marry these products, they typically let them rest from anywhere to 3 to 6 months to allow this tequila to develop the complexity. And like I said, this is becoming one of my favorite tequilas. I have a lot of favorites, but really, this one's really moving up the ladder. Top 5, top 3. And as I drink more, it might be top 1. This in particular has that very kind of vanilla and herbaceous. You still notice that agave, very vanilla and like grassy, citrus forward nuances, oaky and spicy. very complex, but again, that agave at the core it's not overpowered by the oak. So winner, both Blanco and Añejo, Don Fulano. Go ahead and check it out. If you see it on the shelf, go ahead and pick it up. Thank you guys for tuning in and drinking Don Fulano with me. On our next episode of Tequila Talks, I'm gonna be inviting one of my newfound friends from the Sisterly Collective. We're gonna be talking about good and bad tequilas. So as we develop the conversation of what makes Don Fulano such an amazing product, we also want to be able to give you guys information on what makes not such an amazing product. But at the end of the day, it's still tequila and I still will enjoy it. So please tune into the next episode. I look forward to seeing you. And Saludcita. Gracias, amigos.